What do you do when you have an incredibly skilled employee, but they have an absolutely toxic attitude? What's up guys, Ian Sandusky from Lakewood Machine and Tool, and today we're going to be going into the Practical Machinist forums to tackle this very question. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to make sure you never miss a video. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so today as promised, we're going to be diving into the Practical Machinist forums. We're going into the shop ownership and management forum, which is an excellent place to get information if you, like a lot of people out there, are either trying to start a shop, whether you currently are a supervisor or a shop owner and you're looking for some support and to get some questions answered, or whether you're just interested in how a shop runs beyond how things go on the floor. It's an absolutely incredible source of information. There are guys who have been running and owning shops for 10, 20, 30, 40 years there. So it's an absolutely huge wealth of information, and I highly recommend checking it out. So today, to answer the question that was put forth at the beginning of this video, what do you do if you have an incredibly talented employee who also is incredibly toxic? This was a question that was asked on that forum. A guy came on and he said that he is a shop owner. It's just him and he has one employee. So there's just two of them that work at his shop. This employee, he said, he's had for 3 years, and from the way he described it, he trained this guy from the ground up. This guy said in the forum post that he had extensively trained this guy, and when it comes to production, when it comes to getting things done, when it comes to his bottom line, this employee is awesome. He says, he's probably the best guy he's ever had in that regards. It takes a lot of pressure off him. It makes his life easier in terms of a work standpoint, having that guy there. The problem is that this guy described his employee as moody. Apparently this guy comes in a lot with a chip on his shoulder. If he's in a bad mood, everybody's gonna know it. Can be very difficult to work with. And this shop owner was saying that he really appreciates, in his words, peace and tranquility. It sounds like he started his shop so he could have somewhere to go and work for himself, on his own terms, have a nice calm environment to work in. And this guy, while he's productive, is really disrupting that. Apparently it has gotten so bad that this guy was coming on and literally asking, hey guys, what do I do here? Because it's getting so bad that I'm considering getting rid of this guy because his attitude is so bad, and training someone new, starting from zero with someone new. So he was coming on and trying to ask, hey guys, what do I do in this situation? It's getting bad. It's getting really bad. Guys, this is a super common issue. Way more common than you probably expect to believe. I've dealt with this more times than I can count. The guys on the forum there all let this guy know that this is a issue they have all dealt with many times before. This is not a unique issue to this guy whatsoever. One of the things that this guy put forward, the guy who owns the shop, one of the things that really ground his gears when it came to dealing with this guy was that he felt like every decision he made was getting challenged. And if he told a guy to do something, there'd be 100 questions. Why am I doing that? He felt like he was getting challenged. His authority was getting challenged. Everything was being questioned, and he just didn't know how to deal with it anymore. So the first question that the guys had on the forum that I also would ask is this guy asking questions because he's challenging you and he is being insolent and undermining you? Or is he asking questions and challenging you because he wants to learn? It's a very prudent question. There's a very big difference between someone who is constantly going at you with every decision you make and asking, why? Well, why are we doing that? Why don't we do this a different way? Versus a guy who's saying, okay, sure, why are we setting up the drill that way? Because he wants to know. Or, why are we approaching it from this way, where if we did it from this way, we might be able to save some time? Maybe this guy's trying to help improve the process. This is a thing. As a guy running a shop, I'll tell you guys, it's very easy to confuse those two things. If you are someone who has thin skin, or you are dealing with people who may not be the most articulate in the way they ask questions, it's very easy to take questions as criticism. And it's very important to separate these two things in your mind. People are not always going to be great at the way they ask you questions. I've said it a million times, guys, I wish there was a personal skills class that you had to take to become a machinist, because some guys are just not going to be good in the way they ask questions or the way they approach conversations. And it's also very easy to get defensive. I said I want this done this way, why are you asking me? It's easy to get defensive like that, guys. It's very important to separate your emotion from what's actually happening in your shop when these scenarios come up. If you let every question that someone asks you, or every time your process is challenged, if every time you're taking that personally, you are going to have a very, very bad time. So it's important to make sure you separate those two things out. That said, this guy did say he answered this question when it was asked and said, no, you know what? I thought that as well, but it's not coming off that way. This guy gets very defensive and snappy himself, very short-tempered. So that's not really the issue. The next thing that the guy said on the forum, and which is what I would ask as well, is, well, have you talked to him about it? Have you talked to him about it? Have you had that conversation? It's very, very easy to think that we are all incredible, perfect communicators. And we would never be misinterpreted. I'm a very straightforward person. I tell people what I think. Well, do you? Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a scenario where I'm not understanding why someone is not doing something, or I'm not understanding why there's, a misconception or a miscommunication about something, because I am being so, in my head, so forthright about what I want, or I feel like I'm being so clear on my instructions about something, until you go and you actually try to have that conversation again and you realize, do you know what? I'm sending some mixed messages. Or do you know what? I never actually told that guy, this is what I want. I was implying it, but how can he know what I want if I'm not telling him? And this is what those guys on the forum were saying as well. Have you had this conversation with the guy? Have you sat him down and said, listen, I noticed that there's a bit of animosity here. What can we do to solve it? Or, just frankly, am I doing something that is making you angry? Or is there something here that is not working for you? Some guys on the forum, said, oh, you don't need to do that. That's touchy-feely stuff. I can give my guys a raised eyebrow and they know that they shouldn't be asking me that question. Guys, some guys can be really good at that, but at the end of the day, it's always worth actually having the conversation. And the reason for that, guys, is a lot of times you're gonna find out the reason that guy is angry or acting off has nothing to do with you. Maybe they have a sick parent at home or a sick child that you know nothing about that they are trying to take care of and they haven't slept in a week. Maybe they are struggling to quit drinking, or they are struggling with some form of addiction. Maybe they just have a lot on their plate and they're fighting with their spouse. There's a lot of reasons why someone can be acting off or acting out at work, and they may have no idea they're doing it. Or they may be aware that they're doing it. No, yeah, I've been a little off lately. But they may have no idea that it is affecting their workplace, like in this scenario, to the point where the guy's like, I would rather start again than deal with you another day. Once you have that conversation, guys, and you find out some of the times that it has nothing to do with you, all it takes is a conversation saying, hey, do you know what? I understand you're going through some stuff. How can I help? And all of a sudden, that behavior can just go for a big 180, because now the person is aware of it. Now the person may feel supported. Maybe you can't help them at all, but just by letting them know that you're aware that they're struggling, or that they need to come in late tomorrow so they can actually sleep an extra 2 hours, that can completely change the scenario you deal with on a daily basis. So it's incredibly important to actually sit down and make a point of having the conversation, not just saying something in passing. Sit down, have the conversation. The other thing that the guys pointed out on the forum that I thought was very good for this was, even in a shop of 2 people, like we mentioned earlier, this is one guy and is one employee in this shop. That's it. It's still very, very important to set aside time for a formal review, especially if you're a small shop. We're all friends here. It's important to be able to sit back, put on your business cap, and have conversations from a business mode, taking the personal relationship out of it, to be able to discuss these issues. And one of the best ways is to do something like a biannual review, every 6 months, semi-annual, I always get those mixed up, or once a year, or once a month. Just a place to be able to sit and touch base from a very detached business standpoint and have those conversations. Lastly, guys, as a lot of guys pointed out, truly toxic people who, you know, you do all these things and they still just are terrible to deal with, truly toxic people do exist out there. They are rare. Most of the time, the truly toxic people you think that these people are dealing with something. At the end of the day, some of these truly toxic people do exist. And personally, from my standpoint, I would rather not have them work at my shop rather than make more money. Or I would rather not have them work at my shop rather than dread to come in and work every day, because my working environment has turned into a place where I'm dealing with people that just make me feel bad. You know, I don't care if that means I have to work more. I don't care if that means we need to do new hiring. I don't care if that means the shop's gonna struggle for a couple months while we replace that person. Truly, truly toxic people, if you've gone through all these lists and the people are just not gonna be helpful, you know, they're resistant, they just have a chip on their shoulder, it is almost never worth keeping them at your shop from a purely economical standpoint, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect everybody else. You know, I've kept toxic people longer than I should have and lost good guys because of it, because they didn't want to come into work anymore. You know, they saw my company now as a bad place to work because this guy can't get it together and be a nice person. It happens. The damage that truly toxic people can inflict on your business really cannot be overstated. So that said, once you've gone through all these examples of things that you can chase up with them and gone through and tried to make it work, at the end of the day, guys, sometimes you just need to move on, and they need to move on to somewhere where they can be happy too. Maybe it's not your shop. There's not much you can do. That said, guys, you know, we are all human. We all have flaws. If you're not dealing with one person's set of issues, you're probably going to be dealing with someone else's. You know, we're all human. We all have our positives and negatives, myself included. Some people just aren't going to mesh with me. I'm not going to mesh with some people. You always have to kind of weigh out whether you want to start again and try, you know, is it the devil you know better than the devil you don't know, or do you want to start again and see what's out there? But these are all things to keep in mind, and I don't know if there's one really good answer. But it was a very, very interesting conversation. We're gonna link to the that thread in the show notes below, so make sure you check it out. Highly, highly recommend it. It was a great thread. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the little bell notification below to make sure you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, guys. You take care.